Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
Wash me in the water, cleanse me in the mercy of your love.
Coming to you from Rochester, Minnesota, our town.
'Cause I'll be backsliding.
The City of Rochester Parks and Recreation Department has started the Soldiers Field Memorial Park Master Plan update process. And here to tell us more about it and how community members can get involved is Jeff Feece, Park Planner at the Rochester Parks and Recreation. Welcome to our town, Jeff.
Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about what the purpose of the master plan is?
Well, really the purpose of the master plan is to confirm, the initial master plan was done back in 2014. So we're really looking to confirm the vision that was set forth in that 2014 plan and kind of affirm the guiding principles that were laid out as part of that plan. And so this updated master plan will really set the tone and lay out the vision and the direction for the next 5, 10, 20 years of the park itself. So it's really, part confirmation of what we've already done and partially an opportunity to take another look and see if the needs and the wants and the desires are still there for continuing forward.
I love that, a little bit of a check-in and then a little bit of a visioning forward.
Exactly.
So my understanding is that it's been since 2014 and you've been working on some improvements over the last 5 years. Can you tell us a little bit about what some of that work has looked like and then also what some of the continued improvements are going to look like as part of this process?
Yeah, so some of the improvements that have happened at the park, and the community may have noticed some of it and may not have noticed some of it, but the track area was a big area for work. We redid the track, and there was really kind of two focus points for the track being redone. One was we wanted the track to be able to withstand events like Rochester Fest and things like that. So vehicles need to be able to access and go over it and sit on. And but the track club and the community also wanted to maintain that unpaved type surface, a surface that's easier on the runners' bodies. And so we redid the east parking lot, which is in front of the golf club or the golf course clubhouse and near the pool house, and expanded that a little bit. We put a permanent gate at Gibbs Drive and 6th Avenue Southwest and closed down the eastbound or northeastbound portion of Gibbs Drive to make the park safer and more user-friendly and eliminate cut through traffic through the park to downtown. So those are a few of the high points of what's happened out there in the last 5 years or so.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. How can community members get involved in this update process and share their ideas?
Yeah, so we've got a few ways to do that. Probably the easiest way right now is to go to the Rochester Parks and Recreation website, and we've got a link there where community members can participate in either and an online survey that's done through Polko, and then we also have a graphic, a map type interactive map that people can click on and leave comments. It's kind of similar to a social media type situation where you can like and dislike and make comments and things like that. And so that's a little more interactive and can be a little more specific to certain areas of the park that people may use. And so those are probably the two best ways right now. We will be moving forward with some stakeholder engagement with specific groups like the Rochester Swim Club or the tennis group, or users, people that we know are heavy users of the park. Will be engaging them directly. So if community members are part of any of those groups, reach out to your group and participate in those meetings as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. We know that the Soldiers Field Memorial Park is a huge park in our community, and parks and park systems are super important. So thank you so much for giving us an update, and we hope that folks will share their input so we can move forward with visioning what this is going to look like. Be sure to stick around. We have much more coming your way on Our Town. We learn more about the sport of curling and sit down with Cheryl Thode and Wendell Amstutz to talk about listening to each other and inspiring ourselves in the new year. But up first, we visit a tribute to the trucking industry of the early to mid 1900s in this week's Our Culture segment.
Mack trucks really built America as it is today, whether it's the highways, the dams, the skyscrapers. And so it started off when I was probably 10 years old. We had a customer that had a 1918 Mack truck that was displayed at the Chicago World's Fair originally.
This particular truck had never been restored. It was at the World's Fair in 1934 in Chicago.
He was actually a client of my grandfather, Charlie Nuss, from Rockford, Illinois.
My dad found those trucks with a company in Chicago. They purchased them, or Barton purchased them.
From Birch and Carmichael in Rochelle, Illinois. And he brought that 1918 Mack truck to Rochester for an open house. And I can remember, I'm guessing that I was about 10 or so, looking at that truck that was 85, 90 years old at the time. But I was amazed at the history. And then one day I bought an old truck that needed restoration, and I was really excited. And about a year and a half later, we restored the truck, and I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like, this is it. This is the pinnacle of collecting old trucks, is one truck. As I talk to more people, travel to more shows, one truck leads to two leads to three, and the next thing you know, you've got a big collection. And each one of these trucks tells a story, which I love. I've got this Boulder Dam behind me. This is a 1932 Mack truck that built the Boulder Dam. It's the only complete one left in the world.
An unbroken parade of heavy-duty trucks, each handling from 8 to 10 tons of rock, labored up over the steep roads cut into the canyon walls to dispose of the material in the gulches adjacent to the dam site. This phase of the task, which entailed the excavation and the handling of over 1.5 million cubic yards of material, was completed within a period of 13 months and was considered the most grueling portion of the work for both men and machinery.
All these trucks tell a story. They tell a story of the men and women that built this country. And for us to put this museum together, we are honored to have these pieces in our collection.
And I think having this museum is a tribute to what we've done, so we can show the history of our industry here. And when kids come in, and people that they just can't believe what you've done here.
We're kind of caretakers, I guess, of these trucks, and we've taken it upon ourselves to bring them back to life, tell their story, and set them up for future generations to understand the history, understand the stories, and carry on the legacy of trucks that built America.
This is all part of the history. And when people have a comfort level of when they come in and see this, that you built this, like you didn't just pile the money up in the corner and you can't take it with you. Like I said, you only got temporary custody of it. So, thank you.
For more information about this story and other Our Town features, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter at KSMQ #OurTown, or ksmq.org/ourtown.
Hi, I'm Danielle Teal, your moderator for Our Town, The Spotlight. This is where we talk about happenings, organizations, and really cool things in Rochester. We'd like to thank 125 Live for hosting and lining up our guest. And today we have Aikong See from Hope Central. Excited to learn a little bit more about that. So Aikong, tell me a little bit more about Hope Central, and full disclosure, because I kind of already know. I'm a little bit involved with my kindness group and promoting this wonderful effort. So feel free to share a little bit more about Hope Central.
Yeah, so Hope Central, what that's about, it's a community of local nonprofits where we're bringing people together and selling their merchandise, as well as we're looking to serve them in that way, and then serve the community together instead of more separately. So it's more of, I would say, a place where there's unity that's occurring, and then also we're serving them by selling their merchandise. So,
which is really cool. And all the proceeds for these nonprofits, where does that go?
So all the proceeds goes 100% back to the local nonprofits. And then we have the City of Hope shirts and Hope Central shirts that are house shirts. 100% of that goes back to the rent for the building. So,
that's
and then
really
we're
cool.
also, yeah, I was going to say too, and also we're looking to establish a funding so that we eventually down the road, if we hear about families or like individuals that need support in, groceries, bills, we're going to use that funding to actually help pay them in those areas.
That's terrific, and definitely a great need in the community. Why? And that is one of the valid reasons why something like this, put together was such a brilliant idea. Why do you think it is an important addition to the community?
Well, I think right now, the reason why it matters is because I think a lot of people are starting to be more, instead of self-centric, they're starting to be more, community-centric, which is what we're trying to encourage and help just kind of pave the way as leaders to show people, hey, it's not about just me, Aikong, just serving the homeless, but it's about us as a community. So.
And any way to create a pathway and network, I think, it is such a great benefit, right? You can never go wrong when you have duplicacy of different groups doing these sorts of things. Where is this located, and how can people pick up this sweet merchandise? So
the Hope Central is located across the street from Lim Lab, and it's on the right of Incubator, so Rochester Public Schools Incubator, and also on the right of Maven. The inspiration that we're trying to, again, share with our community is really the importance of seeing humanity as what it is, and that's with value, that's with purpose, that's with potential. So that way we can be more unified, we can work together in issues and move towards solutions. So
very cool. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you, Daniel.
Hi everyone, this is Michael Wojak with your Our Town Rundown. Welcome to 2022 in the Western world. One person who did not quite make it to 2022 was Betty White, longtime television actress involved in a lot of social change over her 99 years on Earth. One of the great things about Betty White is a lot of us got to express our appreciation for her body of work and what she did in her time with us. Maybe that's something we can all learn in the upcoming year, is to make sure we show appreciation for those around us and those things that they're doing to make our lives better. One thing that can be tough in northern climates is just keeping active in the winter, but we do have a lot of great options here in Rochester. It was just announced that the skating oval at Soldiers Field Park is back open. You can get skates there and skate on the oval, which is the running track in the center. Additionally, Quarry Hill puts on a number of activities in the winter, including candlelight hikes, cross-country skiing, and other events, including cave tours. Social Ice is going on from February 3rd to the 5th, another opportunity to get out and see the nearly complete Peace Plaza and enjoy some of the amenities that are down there and just socialize in these cold winters. Art Heads, formerly Canvas and Chardonnay, still has classes going on almost every night and every weekend, and there's something that for all ages to enjoy. They're another opportunity to get out. One thing that I just learned about recently is Rochester Public Library actually has a feel-good fiction club. You can read about that at their website, and that's another thing that you can do to keep active in these winters. Lastly, coming up at the Rochester Civic Theater is Girls Only, The Secret Comedy of Women. This show completely sold out last year. It's back again this year, so I encourage you to get your tickets early. There's a lot going on. We hope you get out there and enjoy not only the great weather that we have sometimes in the summer, but some of those days it can be a little bit cold. You can still get out there and enjoy them. I know I certainly am. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, get everything moving. There you go. Hips up. There you go. Nice. I'm Stephen Russell. I'm involved with the Curling Club of Rochester. Right now we're at the rec center on the North Rink. We're preparing to host a family learn to curl session. Delivering a stone, sliding out of the hack is the basics of curling. It's probably the most tricky or dangerous part. So everyone's going to have step-on sliders to use. It's very slippery. Just really want you to get used to it. I don't care if you slide 20 feet or you slide 3 or 4 feet. I just want you to get used to the motion. I start with the stone, bring my sliding foot in behind, and extend. Get down, yeah, good, very good. Curling's kind of getting popular. Everyone wants to learn more about it, give it a try, and of course this year with the upcoming Olympics, the Winter Olympics, it's even more attractive to try something new. It's going to be like riding a bike. It's going to be difficult the first time. We typically run these over the holidays where most people have more time to do family-oriented things, relatives are in town visiting. So I'm sure maybe a quarter of the people coming out tonight aren't even from Rochester. They're just here visiting, and the family wanted to come out and give this a try, and here they are. Now, is everyone here together? Does everyone know each other, related? Or?
Yep, related.
Awesome. And your sliding foot should move with it. Yeah, now when you're ready to go, leave with the stone, bring your sliding foot in behind. Good. We're just trying to deliver a stone about 120 feet down to the other end and have it end up in play.
So I hit my knees and I'm crying out, please.
It is a whole new year, and while the new year is certainly a time of new beginnings and possibilities, for many it can seem a little daunting to welcome a new year with a fresh outlook in the wake of the ongoing pandemic and all that's going on around us. We're joined today by Cheryl Thode and Wendell Amstutz to talk to us a bit about how to motivate and inspire ourselves and each other, and how to work toward community healing as we enter 2022. Welcome, Cheryl, and welcome, Wendell, to our town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, of course, we know that the pandemic is our new normal, and I'd love your thoughts on how we can center wellness and live full lives and move forward in this context.
Well, I think, Nicole, part of the process is how we get our focus right. If we focus significantly on the problem, we're going to have more problems. But if we get our focus clearer in such opportunities to encourage people, to serve people, some of these kinds of opportunities that are unexpected blessings, then good things can begin to happen.
I know that the pandemic has taught us a lot about ourselves and each other. Do you have any thoughts on what the pandemic has taught us in terms of resilience or some other things that can help us move forward?
Well, when you first asked the question, we were communicating ahead of time. I thought, well, we're not to the back end yet, and we certainly aren't. But the business of keeping on is so important to know that if we will continue to persevere, good things can and do happen, not necessarily right away, and not to give up. There's an old statement that talked about never, never, never give up. And while that sounds kind of cliche-ish, it's really true that in the process that good things are happening. We take time to count, so to speak, excuse me, we take time to count our blessings and there's an old song called Count Your Blessings, name them one by one. And if we could do journaling or some of these kinds of things that just write down all the good things that did happen and are happening, that will be one way to help us with resilience. Another way is to start looking for opportunities to make a difference in the lives of other people, to serve. Some of these kinds of things are really worthwhile.
Wonderful. And you've mentioned already in your opening remarks here, looking for those opportunities to serve, count, the gratitude, being able to practice gratitude, and journaling being one of those avenues. Can you share some other methods that could help us stay grounded and positive in our daily lives?
Sure. Amongst the things that we need to do is we need to find ways to encourage other people. Encourage means to give the gift of courage to people. And I think as we find good things that are happening in people's lives, or we find qualities of people and we let them know we appreciate their qualities, we encourage them to, it's really the gold in their lives. And as we encourage people to experience the gold moments and the gold of their lives to be refined and making a difference in other people, then really significant things happen.
You both will be holding some space and facilitating a series of listening sessions. And I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what those sessions are, what are the different sort of areas that you're going to be looking at, and what you're hoping to achieve with them.
The listening sessions will be held in the community with the goal of allowing people to communicate in small groups and one-on-one to practice effective communication and good listening skills. What would you add with that?
Well, I'm excited about the fact that we're also an opportunity to learn from one another and to take time to interact, perhaps disagree. Agree to disagree is a wonderful principle. So we'll try to, as Cheryl mentioned, we'll try to practice what we're teaching. We use a phrase, do and then teach. And so the idea would be not only to interface with one another and to learn from each other, but also I'm excited about the fact that we can multiply these kinds of skills in the lives of other people. And so we'll try to give some very practical tools mixed in with the discussions. The discussions are some exciting topics.
Can you share a couple of the topics that you're particularly excited about?
Thoughtful questions get thoughtful answers.
I think also one of the things that one of our new sessions that we're talking about is called Sounds of Silence. And yes, we're Simon Garfunkel fans, but think about that, how silence is a senior partner to listening. If we are in the process of being able to be still and to hear what's being really said, as well as being able to think more clearly. And how do you listen to sounds of silence? What do they sound like? What should we be learning from the sounds of silence? That's one of the topics. We're also going to be talking about listening makes sense and dollars. That's, by the way, a new session in relationship to the business community. Listening is very important. It makes play on words here. It makes sense and dollars, and it really does. I mean, there's really very few businesses or occupations that listening isn't very core to success. And then also we have a really a wonderful time. Kind of one of our favorites is on intriguing stories, yours and mine. And it's a great way to get to know people, to make some friends, and just an incredible opportunity to see some good things happen. And it's amazing how much we have in common and what we can talk about. And it's just a great time to make some new friends.
That's wonderful. So much rich content there. I'm hearing opportunities for storytelling and learning how to listen effectively, actively. And I love how you're sort of framing this as listening being so central to being able to serve each other and to inspire others and encourage others and ourselves. I'm also wondering if there's some, just some tips that you have for us just here as we're together about how we can practice being better listeners.
Well, I'll take a shot at it, and then Cheryl will take another shot at it too. One of the things that helps me a lot is, especially even when I disagree with someone, is to say, please help me understand. I'm having a hard time getting my arms around what you're saying. So help me understand. There's a humility, there's a sense of also willingness to learn. There's a whole different mindset. It's an attitude that says, I can learn from you.
Another great suggestion is, and I like Wendell's suggestion because I do use that, is take a pause, take a break, take a breath or two before you react in an emotional way. Just get centered. And maybe then your response can be more of a listening response where you can say, help me understand, or get over that initial feeling. So take a breath.
Wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for holding these community sessions. I hope people will take an opportunity to join in and share with each other. So thank you for joining us. And thank you all out there for joining us today. For more wonderful content produced right here in Rochester, please be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter at #OurTown, the show about Rochester. I'm Nicole Nfonoyim for Our Town. Be well and stay safe, and I will see you next week.
It's gonna help me stand, 'cause I just need a helping hand. It's gonna help me stand. It's gonna help me stand.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.